One of the highest grossing movies of all time was Avatar, guys. And I know that most of you are probably wondering, is this franchise ever going to get a continuation? And look, I've been wondering the same thing for a number of years, ever since the original came out back in 2009. Well, guys, not only are they making an Avatar 2, but they're also making an Avatar 3, 4, and 5. And who knows if they're going to continue making more and more, because this is probably going to be one of those franchises that could just make so much money over time. James Cameron, a great director, and he's had all this time to be working on the sequels to that very successful Avatar 1, which was the highest grossing movie of all time until, of course, Avengers Endgame came out. And man, it's going to be an awesome, back and forth, I think, over the years between Avengers as well as, Avatar. And really, I should say the Marvel Cinematic Universe versus that of Avatar, and Avatar versus everybody else. But in this segment, this last segment of the show, guys, I want to talk about everything that we know so far about Avatar 2. So let's talk about it. In an article, guys, that was written by Hugh Armitage, Rosie Fletcher, and Matt Chapman of Digital Spy, it's been a decade since Avatar broke the all-time record at the box office, and it's now lost its crown to none other than Avengers Endgame, which, by the way, guys, side note here, I loved Avengers Endgame. Avengers Infinity War as well as Endgame were two of some of the best, comic book movies I've ever seen all time. And I'm very glad that something broke the record that Avatar had, because I thought that at times Avatar felt a little bit overrated, but I was glad that Avatar surpassed Titanic, and I'm glad that Avatar got surpassed by Avengers, and now I'm excited to see kind of where that all goes over time. But that doesn't worry James Cameron as we continue to wait for Avatar 2. If anything, it's given him hope that this seemingly endless quest will be worth it. Avengers Endgame is demonstrable proof that people will still go to movie theaters. The thing that scared me most about making Avatar 2 and Avatar 3 was that the market might have shifted so much that it simply was no longer possible to get people that excited about going and sitting in a dark room with a bunch of strangers to watch something. Cameron has always had a plan to return to the world of Pandora. It's just one that is taking an awfully long time. We're apparently getting 4 sequels to a CG smash hit that will see the series run until 2027. How crazy is that, guys? 2027, you're basically going to have a new Avatar movie when they start every other year, which is crazy. But at the same time, it's like, hey, you know what? Maybe it's worth the wait. Maybe he wanted to wait until the technology was there to do some really incredible stuff with Avatar 2 as well as the rest of these sequels. Now, when is the Avatar 2 release date? To cut a long story short, Avatar 2 is finally going to be released on December 17th, 2021, having been pushed back from December 2020. This presumes that, as previously confirmed, production will continue despite the ongoing world situation. As mentioned before, a new Avatar movie will follow every other year, all the way until Avatar 5 on December 17th, 2027. Well, that's the plan anyway. If you want the full story of the sequel's long and drawn-out journey to the screen, here it goes. Looking back on it, it seems almost absurd that Avatar 2 was scheduled for release in December 2014, and Avatar 3 was scheduled for December of 2015. Those dates got pushed back. You will not be surprised to learn in April 2016, filming was meant to start on Avatar 2, but April came and went and filming never got underway. Now, part of this, guys, I think actually the reason why Avatar 2 has been delayed so long is because I just think James Cameron, it reminds me of George Lucas with Star Wars, right? He goes ahead, he makes Star Wars 4, 5, 6, and then he comes back to do 1, 2, 3. Why did he do that? Well, the reason he did it, according to, a number of reports and what he has spoken to, personally, is that the pod race in episode 1, The Phantom Menace, he didn't think the technology was there. It would just not look right. So we wanted to wait until the technology was there to do the pod race from episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And then, so that's why he did 4, 5, and 6 first, comes back to do 1, 2, 3. and it kind of threw everything off, but at the same time, that's where you get this cult classic that is Star Wars. So Avatar, part of my thinking is James Cameron he had a lot of underwater sequences apparently that he wanted to do in Avatar 2, but he just didn't think the technology was there yet, so it's just been a long drawn out thing. Then there was obviously issues with the script. They're constantly redoing the script or kind of editing and continuing to kind of scramble things around within the script. So look, guys, I think at the end of the day, James Cameron, he's been taking so much time with this. I think this is going to be something really special when it finally comes out. I just wonder, will people remember Avatar? I'm not talking about just, you know, people like that have seen the first one, but the idea is that is it that kind of is this a series that has that brand recognition? Is it something where, you know, this is like a Star Wars? You know, so when people hear Star Wars, everyone knows what it is, and they've been continuing to make, you know, more and more Star Wars movies. Avatar has not seen the light of day since 2009, so we've been waiting a long time for it. And so the question is it going to have that brand recognition? I think there's a really good chance, guys, that people are still going to go to the theaters just to see what it's all about. Now, obviously, guys, lots of issues with all of these games, or all these movies, I should say. That there was potential here, potential there that it was going to come out at one point or another, and just lots of things were, you know, obviously, like I said, between, I believe, the technology as well as the script, James Cameron has just pushed this thing off as long as he possibly could. Now, Avatar sequel titles. This is interesting. While we've been calling them Avatar 2, Avatar 3, and so on, there hasn't been any official confirmation of what they will be called. However, the BBC reported that the films could be called Avatar: The Way of Water, Avatar: The Seedbearer, Avatar: The Tolkien Rider, and Avatar: The Quest for Eywa, which Cameron later confirmed are potential titles, but could be subject to change. And honestly, guys, I love it. Because look, it's been so long since there was the first Avatar, that calling it Avatar 2, people are going to be like, wait a second, there was a first one? Some people will say that at least. But Avatar: The Way of Water, this is very interesting. I like this concept a lot more because it's been so long. Now, if it was only, like, let's just say, for example, Avatar 2 was slated for 2014, came out in 2014, I would be like, yeah, just call it Avatar 2 because it's not that long after. But since we've waited all these years, we're going to have to wait even longer for this movie to come out. It comes out in 2021 now. Call it Avatar: The Way of Water or something of that nature makes a lot of sense to me. Now, as far as the cast goes, the core cast of the original Avatar are all on contract, so Cameron stars will be back in when it finally hits. Zoe Saldana, who will reprise the role of Na'vi Princess Neytiri, had only just appeared in the Star Trek reboot when she starred in the 2009 original movie, and thanks to projects like Guardians of the Galaxy, she has become the biggest new star to come out of Avatar, as well as cornering the market for playing aliens of various hues. Sam Worthington will also return as the human-turned Na'vi Jake Sully, and it's fair to say that his success hasn't mirrored Saldana's. Sci-fi goddess Sigourney Weaver and bad guy Stephen Lang will be back too, despite the fact that both their characters died in the first film. As for Lang's character, in a statement, James Cameron said, "Stephen was so memorable in the first film, we're privileged to have him back. I'm not going to say exactly how we're bringing him back, but it's a science fiction story after all. His character will evolve into really unexpected places across the arc of our new 3-film saga. I really look forward to working with such a gifted actor who's also become a good friend." So, very exciting stuff, guys. Overall, I'm excited to see, you know, all of these, you know, new characters coming into the fray, as well as old ones as well, that have already, you know, been there, done that. Also, what's interesting is that Vin Diesel is also on board of this story as well. Now, as far as the plot is concerned, Cameron has teased some details of the plot of Avatar 2 in the years since the first movie, which will deal with familial and imprisonment themes. The filmmaker has also been keen to point out that the films can all stand on their own, just in case you're one of the 3 people who didn't see the original. Each movie is a standalone movie that we would want to go see, said producer John Landau. You don't need to have seen the first Avatar to see Avatar 2. It sits there and we're gonna take people on a visual and emotional journey that comes to its conclusion. Part of me likes this, but part of me doesn't. If this is true and that each one is supposed to be like a standalone film, I don't know if I really like that much. I kind of like that there's like an overall narrative and you got to kind of watch each one and the story progresses as time goes. But nonetheless, maybe it's going to be really interesting. Maybe you just go to watch all the visuals. Maybe that's more what you go for instead of going to see like a actual narrative. You're just more so going to watch the incredible visuals, which obviously Avatar 2 and the rest of these Avatar movies are probably going to have. Set several years after the events of Avatar, Sully is now chieftain and Neytiri high priestess of their clan, although events will apparently focus on their children. We hear they'll also be journeying beyond the forests of Pandora in underwater and volcanic environments that Cameron promises will make you ask yourself with your mouth wide open. That's supposed to be a good thing, we think. And to really capture the importance of water, Avatar 2 will film its motion capture scenes underwater. It's never been done before, and it's very tricky because our motion capture system, like most motion capture systems, is what they call optical based, meaning that it uses markers that are photographed with hundreds of cameras. The problem with water is not the underwater part, but the interface between the air and water, which forms a moving mirror, Cameron explained to Collider. Which is like what I was saying, guys. It's going to be very interesting to see how they film this, you know, and how this was filmed, because honestly, I think this is part of the reason why this has been delayed so long, because of the concept of, you know, they wanted to film underwater sequences, having like maybe worlds underwater other than, you know, just Pandora. You have, you know, places underwater. And so I think that it's a great idea. I can't wait to see it. But at the same time, I feel like this is part of the reason, like maybe the technology wasn't there yet, and that's why Cameron kind of delayed these movies so much. So there's no Avatar 2 trailer as of yet, guys. But at this point, you know, we know a decent amount, even though we don't know much at all, if you really think about it. Avatar 2, guys, is a movie that is definitely coming out at some point in the future. They've been working on it. It's been something that is definitely being talked about in a major way, and I know that there has to be, there are significant talks here as to what this could really be and how big of a franchise this really could be. I mean, this could be the next Star Wars, if you think about it, the next, you know, Marvel Cinematic Universe. This could be something really special that could go on years upon years beyond James Cameron kind of being the one helming this thing. It could go on way beyond this, and that's something that could be really special in the future. And I hope it's something that does happen. I really do. I hope that this is a movie that we get and we all love it, and we love it from a visual perspective as well as a narrative perspective, because that's really what I wanted out of the first Avatar. Didn't really get it so much more, just a visual masterpiece in my opinion. And other than that, the story was cool. It was a great concept. I just didn't think it landed well in certain areas. I'm hoping that it does with the, you know, Avatar 2 onwards and forwards. And this was definitely a franchise, guys, I believe that deserved to coexist with other movies, obviously. Wanted to see a continuation. We're finally getting it. And I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about Avatar 2? What are you hoping to see in these upcoming movies? Let me know in the comment section below. And for more Avatar 2 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.